pull in the... All right. Hello and welcome back to another very special episode of Boys Gone Wild. Back at it again with the guests. We've got one of my favourite comedians on the circuit, who I know fairly well. I guess we've known
each other a few times.
I don't know Andy at all.
No,
I'm looking forward to
just
getting
met.
to know you.
Right.
This is happening very regularly where Andrew doesn't really know comedians.
No.
It's
So
nice to
I-
meet
I
people
bring
live on
them.
air.
We've got the same name, but you've gone formal with it.
I've gone formal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kept the
yeah.
original.
I
You're sort
am
of
known as
chilled
Drew.
out.
What are your opinions on Drew?
Drew,
It's kind of American high school a bit.
I think at a time when I was deciding on a nickname, I
Yeah.
didn't really
Yeah.
decide on Andy, just my friends started calling me Andy.
Yeah.
And there was a period of time where I was like, it's Andrew, all right,
Yeah,
get
yeah.
it right. And then I would hear myself saying that and just
Yeah,
be
you
like,
don't-
I hate
You
myself.
don't want to be that guy.
No,
But if I remember rightly, Drew is the name of the dad in the Rugrats.
That's
And
not-
that wasn't the vibe I was
That's
going
not something
for.
I've considered actually.
that was the pop culture Drew that was in
Yeah.
my world at the time. And I was
Yeah.
like, why would I want to be like a 35-year-old?
What were
stressed out
you
guy?
Very
going
good
for?
point.
Would you say, or were you going for something non-specific?
I was just kind of going with the flow. It just occurred to me that Drew was an option, but the only Drew I was aware of was, a
Yeah,
cartoon
yeah.
dad, and I was
Which
like,
it's not the best vibe you're going.
Well,
for.
I was Harry. Well, when I was named fucking Horatio.
yeah. And why did you turn it back to Horatio?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
And then
It
they were
wasn't
like-
really your choice though, actually.
Well, no, it sort
Moving
of
it back.
was.
I
Well, it
swear
wasn't.
it was
It
us,
wasn't my
'cause-
choice, seeing as I was 12 when I did it. So arguably, but basically, they when I was named it, they were like, "Well, obviously he's not going to call Horatio." You sometimes give kids names, and you're like, "Well, it's going to be shortened to that. We'll call him Harry."
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
So I got called Harry until I was about 12, and then I had like a real like "fuck you" moment. Like, I'm not fucking Harry. I'm Horatio. It's just not like the most
Yeah,
punk
yeah,
rock
it's the
thing of being
least-
like
yeah.
"fucking."
least
I'm
right.
actually Horatio. You know. And then
very
it
quiet
never
audience.
got shortened by
Yeah.
anyone.
I mean, it's just such
Your
a name. I've got time for it. I do worry because we play football together
Yes.
on Sundays a lot of the time, and sometimes we're in Shoreditch and people
Yeah.
are shouting like Horatio.
Yeah.
And like we're the least cool group.
No,
in
exactly.
the
Yeah.
It doesn't bring a lot
It's
of
not a
street
good
cred to
name to shout out loud. Actually,
Yeah,
I've just
exactly, yeah,
realised
yeah.
that
It
as
is. I think I the most hurtful thing is how few people have taken it upon themselves to shorten it. Because I can't do it for them.
But I think it's a
Yeah, you can.
it's
You
a
have to do it for
It's a statement name.
Yeah, but
that I
what?
would-
Could I just start now?
I get infuriated at work when someone replies to an email that I've sent when it says Andrew Kerwin, financial crime specialist at the bottom,
Yeah.
and they reply with "Hi Andy." That's not how we do it. That's not my name.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a bit rude.
I know because you have to establish a name. If you introduce yourself as Horatio, it'll be mental for someone to call you Harry.
Yeah, and I also it's becoming a bit of an issue because I'm a bit embarrassed about it, so I mumble it.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's just a terrible way
Yeah,
to
like
start a
getting a
relationship.
coffee. Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like, well, coffees, Starbucks,
Yeah.
they call me Rachel 4 times because
Have
I'm like
they?
looking down, like my name's Horatio. And
I would have thought.
It sounded like Rachel then.
They're like more
Yeah.
likely it's this guy's called Rachel than Horatio.
I would
Horatio-
also think that's more.
yeah,
likely.
Horatio doesn't enter their mind at all.
Yeah.
But Harry is like not quite. It should be Horry, really,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
because
It's
you've
a
got an
disservice.
unusual first name, so you should really have an unusual second name.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but as
No,
we're talking
not
about
second name,
the best
nickname.
name. Yeah, because second name you don't want two. The best names
Yeah.
are like you want it's like John Longbottom. No, I don't know. That was a
No,
bad
not the best
example.
example.
No, I love that.
John Bazalsafar. You don't.
Bazalsafar.
You don't.
Okay.
you
So
don't
he had a
want-
second run at it and he smashed it out of the park.
you don't want Xander Bazalsafar. That's like a lot.
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
too much.
You want
Still.
Billy Bazandafar.
Billy
Do you know what I mean?
Bazandafar. Yeah, Billy
that's
Bazandafar.
great.
Are we slowly
Or-
working towards Billy Zane? Is that what you're trying to say?
Or Xander Smith. Do we know Xander Smith?
Xander Smith.
Anyway,
know
but that's
anyone
what I
called
think.
Xander.
It's the way to balance
ring
out a
a bell.
name
yeah.
is.
There's an American golfer called Xander Schauffele.
Well, every
Wow.
American golfer for some reason does sound
Brooks
like an
Koepka.
Aztec warrior.
Brooks Koepka.
Or their name is like
Bryson
Bubba
De-
Smash.
there's genuinely Bubba Watson.
Yeah, I know,
club
Bubba
head.
Watson's
Yeah.
one that
Bryson
came
DeChambeau.
Yeah,
That's one.
That's a hell of a name.
I call him Bryson DeChambles. It's pretty good.
There you go.
Yeah.
You-
I'm here for the golf content.
um,
Also, Phil Mickelson becomes Dill Pickleson.
that is incredible.
That
'Cause
is
it
good.
works on 2 levels.
2 levels.
Because you don't suspend pickles in dill, do you? You add dill flavouring to pickles.
Sure.
Wow.
No,
It's,
no,
it's,
that was a
it's,
question.
it's whatever you want it to be.
What I don't think it is.
You
I
can
think
have a
it's- I think
dill
it's
pickle, can't you?
Yeah, but a dill is
Dill and pickles.
Dill is. Do you know about dill and pickles?
I wasn't expected to be out of my depth so quickly.
No, but This is when I really want to research it because this dill is a key flavouring to pickles.
Yeah,
I thought you knew that because that's why that was so.
But I don't know. I don't know exactly how the two go together, but I know they're a classic.
Phil
partnership.
Mickelson, calling him Dill Pickleson, works on so many levels. But not so many. Well, two, but
mostly that he looks a bit like a pickle as well.
Yeah, but mostly dill and pickles go together, so it works. Excellent.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But have you considered kids' names if you were going to have any?
All right.
More importantly,
me and my girlfriend are constantly discussing and going like, "Oh, that's a good name."
What?
I can't remember what the name she said most recently was, but it was really weird. It was like, "Oh, it's because Bamba Gascoigne died," and she was like, "I like Bamba." And I was like,
Bamba Gascoigne's a great name.
Yeah, full Bamba Gascoigne field.
Bamba Gascoigne, yeah.
His first name is Bamba Gascoigne.
BGF, man, BGF.
He's going to learn to spell early. But yeah, names are fun. Yeah. I wanted a middle name to be Force because my name's Field.
Great. This is
Forcefield.
the kind of thinking we need. Yeah.
Well, we're thinking that every single name would be better if was the Andy the Field, Andrew the Kerwin, Horatio the Gould. If you just made every middle name the
middle name there,
yeah, it kind of adds a lot more gravitas.
Brings a bit of medieval gravitas.
My middle name's Victor.
Andy Victor Field.
Yeah, that's my name.
I like that.
And I've always thought it's a strong name.
Yeah,
I'm pleased with it.
I'm going to call my son. Now it's the split decision between the two. It's either first name Ike, second middle name Con, or first name Icon. Both come to Ike and Kerwin.
Oh wow, yeah.
So
it's a small victory, I reckon.
I not the biggest,
but I like the tasteful. Take the small wins, you know.
The first option would be Ike-Con, though.
Ike, yeah, but it will speed it up when asked his full name.
Yeah,
Icon Cohen. Icon Cohen. Icon Cohen. Icon Cohen.
Yeah.
Icon Cohen.
And people at the coffee shop are going to be like, I know exactly.
Well, he doesn't have to do it at the coffee shop. I prefer him.
My son's not going to drink coffee.
With tea houses.
Icon Kerwin in a coffee shop. Grow up.
It wasn't last night, was it? It was 2 nights ago.
Yes.
I watched my first Super Bowl, which I've never actually managed to stay up, and it was actually a real treat.
Neither have I, yeah.
Yeah, because I wasn't planning to watch it.
Nor were we, actually.
And then it just happened, and I actually had a blast.
It was fantastic.
It is fun. I've had some boisterous Super Bowl viewings in the past. This year I watched it on my own with my dog.
Yeah,
and it was all right.
Yeah,
I had one.
Do you watch it every year?
Not every. I watched the first time I watched it was at like last year at university.
Yeah,
and me and my mates just all stayed up and we got really, really drunk and we were just like screaming football because we didn't know the rules.
The rules, yeah.
So and then afterwards we sort of like at 4 a.m. just went to a park with like an American football someone had.
Yeah.
Just fucked each other up and it was great.
Yeah.
And then the year after that, I was like, I'd moved to London. I was living in like a warehouse with these sort of scary hippies.
Yeah.
And I tried to like...
kind of just glossed over that. I was too intent of the football.
I miss warehouse.
Yeah.
From like 21 to 24, I lived in like a sort of like a squat style warehouse in Uxbridge.
Did you have like your own room, or was it
just
like a warehouse?
At first,
you had a corner of the building
with some tarpaulin.
I always had a room. At first, when I got there, they didn't have any rooms for me. There was this guy, it's sort of long. I'll tell you.
Please,
we're here to talk anyway.
Absolutely.
So I started doing stand-up at uni, and I met this guy who lived in Bournemouth who was like selling MDMA and running comedy gigs. So he would like give me MDMA to do comedy gigs.
Just before the gig?
No, just like he'd also fly her for the gig though and be like free comedy and MDMA.
He wasn't harking the MDMA. He wasn't shouting that.
He wasn't that coy about it though. Like, it wasn't a secret.
Free comedy and MDMA. I like that balance.
Yeah. But yeah, then naturally he went to prison while I was in while I was at uni, and he was released
for the gigs or for the MDMA.
Both. They were bad
gigs. Crimes to comedy. The comedy police.
But when he got out of prison, he went to stay with his friends he had who were living in this warehouse in Uxbridge that they'd found.
Yeah.
And he was it was mad. He was on like house arrest in this warehouse with 20 people all selling drugs. Like,
really?
Yeah.
They had a party
in that context. You wanted to get out of the house more.
Yeah. No. Exactly. Yeah. He wasn't safe there at all. They had a party when he got released where the bass was so strong that it set off his ankle tag.
Just a glitch? Or?
Yeah, no, like just the vibration. It thought it was being removed because it was being shaken around so much. Yeah. So the police came around. So yeah, I moved there when I finished university because it was really, really cheap. and seemed like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the first year I was there, I tried to like recreate that fun of the Super Bowl with those guys who were like not feeling it. I drank like a bottle of vodka. But do you know when you get really, 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 really drunk and don't realise that no one's coming with you? I thought everyone else was also pounding it. So I was like a full like half a litre of vodka down.
No one's come down with
and there's just like 15 sober people watching me like scream and dribble. And I challenged... We were doing this thing called Fight Club, which was just, it was Fight Club.
Sounds like Uxbridge Warehouse kind of.
Yeah, where we just had this industrial space where we would go put boxing gloves on and just like beat the shit out of each other.
How many people were living in this warehouse?
It fluctuated between like 15 and 20.
Yeah, okay. Substantial enough.
It was a really, really big space. Like there was a lot of. We had like a cinema room that was just like 3 tiers of sofas, but it kept sort of half collapsing. It wasn't very safe.
Was it cheap?
Oh, super cheap.
You'd hope so.
Yeah.
I paid like £250 a month.
Wow.
And then for a period of time, I didn't pay anything.
Were you living off comedy then? Could you even?
I wasn't making very much money off comedy. I didn't work very much because I didn't need very much money. I tried selling weed for a bit, but I smoked it all.
That's the golden rule.
I couldn't sell it quicker than I could smoke it, so I would buy like
where you were poor
really
salesman.
Tame Breaking Bad about a guy who tries to smell soak weed and then just smokes it.
Well, I didn't want to like be a proper drug dealer, so I was just trying to sell it to people in the house.
Yeah.
But every now and then,
there's a substantial amount of them in there.
Yeah,
15,
exactly.
20.
Yeah,
but
you got a mini economy.
I was just being the go-to weed guy, but then there was like a week where no one in the house was really smoking it, or like the people who smoked loads were gone, and I just smoked all of the weed that I had, and I was like, I've just lost like £200. That's crazy.
You entered it into your records and realised, actually, no,
Hang on a minute.
No, I'm in the minus here now.
Yeah. I did odd jobs, but like because it was Uxbridge as well. I had a job in King's Cross, and I could get the Metropolitan line all the way there, but it was like 55 minutes
on one train.
On one train.
Oh God.
There was a guy who had a seizure on the train once, so I was late for work. And I explained to my boss and everything, and then the next.
Did it stop the train? Or
like they stopped the train. Like
you traumatized.
This guy just like fell forward and just started having a seizure on the Metropolitan line, and then the next week the same guy did it again.
No. And wait, you were there as well.
And I was on the train. I was there both times.
Like, this excuse
I was like,
it
yeah,
feels
exactly.
like he's doing it to spite you at that point.
I know. I got there and I told my boss, like, you're not going to believe it. And he was like, no, I don't. I don't believe it. Come to work on time. Oh, yeah. My hair was down to here until like 2 years ago.
You wouldn't believe it, man.
Yeah.
He lives in a warehouse.
I smelled like mold. I was very high. You're not going to believe it, man. It was like an hour late twice. But yeah, and then I challenged someone to Fight Club during the Super Bowl, and he like concussed me. He punched me so hard in the face like 8 times.
That's the downside of fight clubs.
Well, the concussions.
Yeah, was punch in the face. Yeah.
So did Fight Club occur whilst the Super Bowl was on this year?
Yeah. Well, no. This year it
dog.
was
Oh,
me and
not
my
this
dog.
year, yeah.
This year it was just me and my dog. I've gotten a lot calmer as the years have gone on, but that's the most remarkable Super Bowl I've had.
Yeah.
Was that one? I don't remember who
Definitely
played
beats.
or what the score was.
Because you were concussed.
Yeah.
Didn't know what fucking day
I was
it
bleeding out of my nose, and I was so drunk I kept being belligerent after I'd been like roundly humbled.
Yeah.
I was on the floor like, you bitch. you
Is that how you
pussy.
got, you pussy?
He got to the point where other people were like, stop hitting him. Like, he's not going to stop being a dick. You're going to cause damage. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, this one was good. I've never watched the full American football game ever, so I was very shocked.
I don't think I have either, actually.
Yeah, the American commentary is such a... When you're used to football, you realise that the British approach to punditry is like professional whinging.
Yeah,
and I don't think Americans approach...
They're really complimentary and excited about it.
It's exciting.
It's entertainment more than analysis.
But there seems to be like a real British tradition in commentary where you have to be miserable to be there.
Yeah.
You could have done it better yourself and
100%.
furious the whole time.
Yeah, you never hear American football commentators be like, back in my day, they're just like, this boy is a genius.
That's true. And then it was just weird because I watched the BBC coverage and there was 3 giant, gorgeous black men, and then that like weaselly white British dude sitting way too far apart, which just created a very uncomfortable vibe.
That is the other issue, because I watched the iPlayer one and I regret it, because if you watch the American coverage, whenever they cut to those guys, they're cutting to like big adverts. That all cost $7 million.
It was
and the adverts are crazy. And like seeing the actual American coverage is how you should see it. Because I used to have
it's like when we watch the American election, we watch Fox News because you want to see.
You want the drama, the entertainment. It's theatre. A lot of American
people who are
stuff is
invested.
theatre. Exactly.
Yeah, because it's absolutely insane with all of the adverts. The BBC one was weird because it was literally every 5 minutes they would just cut away and be like, "What about that small fraction of play?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, that was another one." Yeah, loved that.
Absolutely,
loved that 30 seconds.
The Rock opened it up.
Yeah.
Oh, that was strong.
Now I think
I missed that.
we just got back in time, and it kind of as soon as we got back from the pub, turned the TV on. And it was I think we were halfway through The Rock. And it was kind of the exact thing that you might be expecting from a Super Bowl. Yeah. Of just immediately turning on The Rock and just standing there like, "Welcome to this." I can't remember exactly what he said. Was it just gassing up the game?
It was just getting really vibey, yeah. I mean, it put me in the zone immediately because you forget what American football's like. And then straight away, it turned over from Match of the Day, like... Yeah. Just Mark Chapman being like, and those were the goals. And now the Super Bowl. And The Rock is just like ripping his shirt. Like, let's go! Yeah. And you're like, that is another sport.
It does get
a
you
new
right
world, man.
I thought the halftime show was good. They got a lot of... I like big shows where you just keep getting loads of like the kind of the narrative beats are introducing new dudes. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
just throwing in. Let's throw in Snoop Dogg. 50 Cent's Upside Down. Yeah. That's like the big show.
50 Cent Upside Down was the highlight.
I love that bit because they started and he was upside down. They went like go. Go, and then they did a really long go so he could get down. And they went go,
scrambling. Okay, ready?
Go, shot. Like in order to let him down.
One of our friends who we were with, as it panned to him, I just heard a quiet, "He's upside down," because everyone had been silent for the whole thing. It was just 50 Cent's upside down, and I think that's the only thing that was said throughout the whole thing.
He just woke up. People were having a go at Eminem for taking a knee. Which I didn't even notice at the time. I just thought he was being theatrical when he'd finished. It's odd.
Was it when he finished his rap?
He finished his rap and then he just went down the knee like that. Yeah. And in my head, I was like, pageantry. He's a showman. So it's odd that we've now got like just a physical action that is like political now, as if it was like...
it's big in the NFL.
I know, of course,
it's
but
quite obvious.
Also, like, had someone done this for racial equality, then from now on, no one would be able to do this.
I think it would be less clear,
you know?
If Eminem went like that and he said, "I was doing it for racial equality."
I can't believe he's done the shimmy.
How have you guys not realised?
I'd be pissed off if I was performing in the Super Bowl halftime show, which I'm not saying.
Which you might give it a few years.
I'm not saying that. They probably won't.
Well, just a stand-up set.
I'm not good.
This podcast for just like 20 minutes. You come up in a rising stage.
I'm not good enough.
With no intro music, just silence.
And then just like a name anecdote.
Hi guys, good to see you all.
Welcome back to the show.
My name's Horry.
Discussing the Ukraine crisis.
But I would be pissed off if Eminem hadn't like told me he was doing the knee thing first, because then it puts a lot of pressure on me as a white dude. So
who are you in this? Context.
I'm doing like maybe a minute's worth of like podcasting, maybe.
Right. No, so you're also performing.
Yeah, actually, no. I think I'd do stand up. I'll do my gold.
Maybe stick to the podcast.
I would be pissed because then if the white dude's done the knee, then it's put a lot of pressure on me, and if it hasn't been agreed, I don't want to be running through my head whether I'm going to. I want to know if I'm doing the knee before I get up there.
That is absolutely fair. Yeah. There were no other white performers in the Super Bowl this year, which meant that he didn't put anyone in the position he would have put you in.
Exactly, but if he had,
I bet
Eminem wouldn't have told me. He would have wanted someone up.
This is the strangest theoretical situation to be concerned about.
I'm just saying that I just know part of what pisses me off is I knew Eminem would not have told me
if you were there.
Admittedly, there's a lot of hypothetical.
This is so far.
Who watches the Super Bowl halftime show? I'm thinking if I was there, I'd be pissed off if he didn't tell me about that. What the fuck?
I would be sitting there like, you fucking bastard. Now this
so
is
many
now I look like.
Yeah, I would have just said I'm not racist at the end, just to like.
Not racist.
As in shouting into the mic. As it closes, it's been a perfect show. I'm not racist, by the way. Eminem did tell me as you go down onto the stage.
I'm actually fighting this fight my own way.
There was a controversy about him taking the knee because there was rumours that the NFL said don't take the knee.
Yeah, well, but there was like years ago, MIA like performed with Madonna and just put a middle finger up because she's like British, Middle Eastern, and just doesn't know how much the Americans give a shit. I was watching a documentary about her, and they had
just because of like rock and roll.
Yeah, exactly, just rock and roll. And she
I'd give it some of these.
Yeah. After a very underwhelming stand-up set.
That's me coming up on the thing.
And then going to the podcast. Anyway, so the Russia crisis.
But she came off stage after that. There was like backstage stuff of her and her mates being like, "We smashed that. That was great." And then just this like parade of like waddling white dudes were like, "Oh, excuse me, I'll have you know that
was a disaster."
So they don't like the middle finger that much over there.
Yes, they're sensitive about what happens in the Super Bowl halftime show, which is mad because they allow there to be a halftime show. Just don't have a half. Like halftime show in football is like a small boy with cancer kicking a ball, and everyone's like, "Well done." Grow up. Oh no, you won't.
No, we don't really have that sort of humour on this show. So.
All right, fair enough.
Just kidding.
Lesson learned. That's fine.
Do you feel like you've now gotten into American football?
No, definitely not.
No, it's just a Super Bowl.
No, Andrew loves every other sport apart from football, which he just supports Brighton, but is like has immense knowledge of everything apart from football, really.
Yeah, like I have got a pretty standard knowledge of football,
but you don't. It's not like It's not you don't you're not like super nerdy. About snooker, fucking darts.
Well, it's not super nerdy. I just
who can get into darts? Come on.
I can't. At darts, I watch the World Championships.
Yeah,
he still puts the shift in.
Fair enough.
Well, I've got to. I feel like I owe it to the sport.
What's the?
I don't know why.
What's the lady darts player? I like Fallon.
Well, it's something.
She's good.
Yeah, she is.
She's
good. What's her name? Doesn't matter.
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know.
Fallon darts.
I switch off when the ladies come on.
Oh yeah, fair play.
But
yeah.
I'm
a very sexist sports supporter.
But then once again, it's the British NFL. It's not.
I just don't think
it's not an aesthetic I'm into.
I think it's. No. I think it's disrespectful to British culture for British people to be into American football.
They're like
I watch the
Super
traitors. Bowl because it's just like this big. It's like watching the Oscars. Like I don't really care about the Oscars, but like I watch it for like an hour to see if anyone falls over. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But the 4 hours is long, and the Oscars.
Yeah, I'm not watching the whole thing. Who cares about set design? Like, go away.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think it stands against everything that British sport stands for. So it does feel like...
I really enjoyed the actual game of it. I think although it's a very stop and start, it's hella dramatic.
The fourth quarter was good.
I thought the whole game was very good.
But before that... Yeah, I really wanted the Cincinnati ones to win because they hadn't won it before, apparently. And I like that Joe Burrow guy.
Yeah,
he got sacked so many times.
He did.
I love it.
Yeah,
I liked
just like seeing pain and on the floor.
There was one point where there was just a close up of like 8 400-pound men fell on his knee, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And they were like, "Yeah, he looks in pain." I was like, "He's dead. He should be dead."
I liked how the best one was Cooper Kupp, isn't he? He's the best one. Who's the best one?
Cooper Kupp, yeah, he was the one that kept catching because the Rams had like one guy who could catch, so they threw all the balls to him.
The go-to receiver.
Yeah. But Cooper Kupp is a stupid name.
Terrible name, and it's Kupp with a K and 2 P's. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did. I mean, that makes it. That's better. It makes it better.
It's better than CUP.
You don't want CUP, surely. Because Kupp is like Polishy, Eastern European. All right, it's a he's traditional thing.
Yeah, but he's American, so he may as well just spell it CUP.
I don't know. I think double C Cooper Kupp. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely absurd.
If it's going to be KUPP, it should also be KUUPER.
Yeah, no. Cuppa.
No, still Cooper Kupp.
That's a fair comment. Still Cooper Kupp, but yeah, that's a fair comment.
Or KOOPA.
Because
Mario it.
Because I guess it goes. Sure. There's that idea of like, does a name really matter if you're really, really good? Because the Beatles, you forget is actually a terrible name.
We went through the England.
But you don't even think
about it. It's a great pun.
But I mean that's
because they scurry, but they also make beats.
They don't. I don't
Was
think,
that the
I don't think
intention
they're
behind the
famously.
name?
I don't think they're famous.
Are
I
you
don't
saying
think
that
they're
was the
famously
Beatles'
scurried.
intention behind it?
Yeah, because we're like little Beatles.
No, I don't think so. I don't think they.
Don't ever say this in an interview.
They're famously scurried either.
We're actually bigger than Beatles, literally. They're small. They didn't get any controversy for that, so no one knows about it.
Yeah, because it sounds like a good name.
That's a fact.
Because they're such a good band. But it is like, they really fucking hoofed it.
Yeah.
Because even like Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, 2 incredible names.
Yeah.
The Beatles is like a really
terrible,
shitty name. But I guess they're so good. But Cooper Cup,
Beatles.
I wonder, does it hold you back?
Remember we went through if we changed the names of the England
yeah.
football squad to discuss whether we think they'd make it.
You changed Mason Mount to Jason Cunt.
Yeah. Which we said he would make it.
Jason Cunt.
Jason Cunt, but he'd be like a defender instead of a midfielder.
Yeah, he'd foul people a lot.
Exactly, yeah.
You've been cunted.
Yeah, he'd have to.
Yeah.
He'd have to.
But yeah, it's an interesting debate. Do you love holding books, reading books?
Marking them as well.
Well, then you come to the right place, because we have genuinely some of, how do I put it? Some of the my favourites, not even some of my favourite ethically sourced sustainable books.
You should probably go a bit harder than
the best ethically sourced sustainable bookmarks.
Have we confirmed that yet?
No, we have. I've got a sent off test to the lab, and it came back the best.
Oh, you did
sustainable.
Your own personal research.
Yeah, exactly. Do your own research.
You can't trust Big Pharma.
Which is what Bookmark Boys believes in, doing your own research. Hillary Clinton is a paedophilic lizard. That is part of...
You can read that in a book.
That's true, you can read that in a book.
How are you going to mark that book?
With Bookmark Boys. Andy Field has been a long time fan of Bookmark Boys.
He's obsessed with it.
Just weirdly so. Like, we love it, but not as much as Andy.
I insisted that you take this sponsor whenever it was that you took it, just on the off chance I'd be involved.
Yeah. I thought that's why you came on the podcast.
Threatened violence, and because of his house, he's got a lot of financial muscle. You know, it's like he's been really, been working it in.
I've been bankrolling this.
But buy the bookmarks, please. You've moved from your warehouse, which has been a big change in your life, to a house that's been seemingly handed to you by a fairy godmother.
I left the warehouse ages ago. I lived there for like 4 years till I was like 25. But in the last few years, like during the last Edinburgh Fringe that was like a proper one, when was that? Like
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
My mum's stepmum passed away. And we'd see her like once a year. Like she was nice. But it turns out that me, my mum and my uncle were sort of like her only family. Like that, obviously she's their stepmum, but she never had any kids of her own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just had my mum and my uncle. My uncle's not got any kids, and I'm an only child. So her whole estate was split between the three of us.
Yeah.
And it turns out she was sitting on just like
cash,
loads of money. So I just inherited enough money to buy a flat in London. So now I own a flat in London.
So because you've been paying you've been living in warehouses or like living around London.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been really, really
drug
poor.
dens, fight clubs.
Because I started doing stand-up when I was like 17, and I've never been very like earning money oriented.
Yeah.
So just sort of scraping by constantly building up loads of debts. The least likely person to ever be a homeowner ever. I came back from that Edinburgh Fringe where she passed away. They didn't tell me while I was there, but when I came back, but like during that Fringe, I was like $8,000 in debt. And then I just came back and I was like, oh, that's chump change.
You're a landlord now.
Everything's sorted now.
It's great.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me, because people are so like tetchy about like ownership and stuff, and like always try and play it down, but you were just like, fucking great. I own a house now. Got, like,
I mean, like obviously in comedy you would benefit from being like an underdog that everyone wants to help.
Yeah.
There's like no benefit to helping me.
Yeah,
like no one else in comedy is going to give me a leg up and be like, I'm glad I helped that guy out. like, he deserves it. But that is all sort of made up for by just not paying rent, just living in my own flat. I checked Zoopla lets you know how valuable your flat is, and it's gotten like 20 grand more valuable since I've lived there. So I'm earning money by existing in a space.
Yeah.
It's great.
Where is the flat?
Forest Hill,
like
near Crystal Palace. It's nice, it's good. It's leafy green. I'm from, south of London, so it's...
Do you charge your girlfriend rent?
No, should do. I've literally not even been charging her bills, actually. Well, no, she's been paying some bills, but I set up direct debits for the bills when I moved in and just haven't haven't really thought about
You'd
it.
actually be a great landlord.
Oh, I'd be great for the tenants, but I would just like gradually go completely bankrupt. Yeah.
Do you
It'd
sometimes
be too awkward to ask. I'd love to be the kind of landlord who's like too awkward to ask for rent, and every time makes it really like.
That would 100% be me.
About that rent
thing we've got to do every
fine,
month?
yeah.
Oh, don't
He's
worry
like, well,
about
I
it.
got you some drinks and stuff. Yeah, no, okay.
No, you
cool.
did actually. You're right. Yeah, last weekend. Yeah. Do you sometimes look around to your new lovely surroundings and just want to be back in the warehouse?
It's part of you.
It's part of you still in the.
for
It's
the
part of
Fight
you
Club.
still in the warehouse. Andy.
No, I'm quite glad. I like recreational drug use and all that sort of thing. But I'm pleased that I did that when I was
But
like
not all the time.
21 to 25.
Yeah,
I really I did that whole skins fantasy thing of being at big parties and doing lots of drugs and being dirty and gross. And then by the time I'd been there for like 4 years, like everyone who'd lived there when I moved in had moved on to just a better life, and I was just like, I was about, they died. They did a lot of drugs. But
they've also inherited shitloads in their own flats. It was a mad phenomenon.
I just ticked it off. I did lots of drugs. I tried all of them, and I got to move on and now just live a slightly more sedate life with my dog and my girlfriend.
That's the way to play it.
Yeah.
I think it's to hit it hard while your body can hack it.
Yeah,
You don't
exactly.
also
I think
wanna
your
be
body
one of
starts
those
to
people.
get fed up with it though, and
Yeah.
you enjoy the more mundane.
Yeah.
things
There's a
in
lot
life.
of your body's like this again. This is fucking.
It's happening now to me at
Really,
24.
your body's
25.
just been
It's just
like,
a bit. I do just like waking up feeling fine nowadays as well. Rather than feeling great the night before. I'll feel fine on Sunday.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm nearly 30 now, and I don't even like being hungover.
Yeah.
I've stopped smoking. I've found a girl on Instagram who sells like weed gummies and cookies.
Yeah.
So I get some off her all the time. So I get high in the evenings by eating sweets.
Yeah.
So it's a real turnaround for me from
Doesn't
like
sound
huffing
very-
out of like a
very
dirty
adult,
bottle that I've made a bong out of. But it's better than before. Yeah.
No, I do think it's the way to play it.
But yeah, I'm glad I did it while I could hack it. Staying up for 3 days at a time doing speed.
Was this all in Uxbridge?
Speed, you did speed. Speed's like the worst one. Isn't it?
Speed's great fun.
Because
you can just
I
do
never
it.
learned how to take speed. It was only ever a mistake.
The first time
one.
The first time I did speed was mad. Actually, I was 17, and a mate of mine had like his older sister's boyfriend was a drug dealer, and like sort of like to win over the little brother and make him think he's cool. We just gave him a big bag of speed.
No, but not a big bag of speed.
Like a big bag of speed. Like a big bag of speed.
Like a Tesco's carry.
Like literally like. And we'd never like snorted drugs before.
Thank you very much. Do I take it all?
Sandbags.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's quite big, isn't it?
Yeah. So our like reference of
Just with a
understanding.
straw.
100%. We had
Haven't even made a dent in it.
Our understanding of how to do those drugs was like Scarface, like seeing people with like a big mound on a table.
Yeah.
So we just had this night.
How old were you? Sorry, just
like 17.
17. Yeah.
Maybe I was 18. I can't remember.
We're gonna have to get this down.
That's vital. That
we
one.
know
I
this.
think I've
We
actually.
want no grey areas.
I've realised I was probably.
We've got broadcast standards to uphold.
I've realised I was probably 18 because I think it was like
We're locking that in.
It was like a
We're
half
locking
term
that
of
in.
university. I was home. But either way, he brought this big bag of speed, and we just
I
sat
am just
around.
imagining the carry bag now. Can
it was
you
like
actually tell me?
It was like a clear bag.
Oh yeah.
And there was literally
Sandwich
The
bag?
bag was like this big.
That's a big bag.
That's
of
a large
speed.
bag.
and like this much speed, like all in the bottom of it.
Went on the. Oh god.
And we just emptied it and had like a pile of speed each.
Yeah.
And we just sat around a dining
Your
table.
own piles of speed, like
Just-
poker chips. Or
Yeah,
something,
yeah. Just all talking at the same time. Just like 100 miles an hour all night. I was working as a removal man. And I was supposed to go to work the next day, and I didn't sleep.
Because of the speed.
Yeah, because we just did speed.
Because
and
of the
stayed
pile
up
of
all
speed.
night.
Because of the carrier bag of speed they used to, Horatio. What else do you think, you dickhead? Because
I was restless. Because it was hot.
Yeah.
You know, just one of those nights you can't quite nod off. One of those.
The worst part was
Just
about
jacked up, fucking shouting at everyone.
about 5 a.m. I went to go to the toilet, and I went to the bathroom. And my penis had completely retracted inside my body.
Is that because of the speed?
Yeah, because we'd done so much speed. So it was just like all of the skin of my dick just like pinched up together there with no dick in it.
Was it like a witch evaporating and her clothes only?
It was just the clothes.
Just
left.
the hat.
Just the hat. So obviously that freaked me out. And then I went back in, obviously, and didn't say anything for a little bit. And eventually I plucked up the courage and I was like, guys, has anyone else's dick disappeared? And everyone else went, oh my God, yes, it has, yes.
Oh, great.
All of us have been quietly freaking out about our dicks disappearing.
I don't really understand what you get
came
from
back,
speed. Because is it surely any... Well, I guess it's cheap, but it's bad Coke.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like Coke either. I was an MDMA and an acid man.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah.
That's a party.
Yeah.
But speed, yeah, I mean, you just it does what it says on the tin. It just speeds you up.
It's good for a night out. I wouldn't associate it with sitting around and talking to people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'd never did
ginormous piles. The size of their own head.
We were just in my mate's house and his parents were away. We were just sat around their dining table, just like grinding speed into the wood grain.
Did you guys finish your piles of speed?
Yeah, we had all of the speed.
Sounded like you were asking if there was any left for some reason. Did you guys happen to finish?
Guys got any left?
And then without finishing it, and then without sleeping, I went and
how was that done?
I moved someone's house.
Lifted the house.
God, fucking trying to get it out.
No, he said move the stuff, not the house.
I don't care.
Yeah, I did like a 10-hour shift as a removal man, still high as shit. I was trying to wear sunglasses, but the only sunglasses I had were like John Lennon little circular ones with like an orange metal rim.
So not hiding it at all.
Like with my long purple
drawing
hair.
attention to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. People were looking at me a lot more.
That guy must
if
be
anything.
high, yeah.
But my pupils were like insane, I couldn't have anyone see them.
Did the high last for the whole shift?
Yeah, high lasted for the whole shift, and then I got back to my parents' house afterwards, and I was just like desperate for it to be over.
Yeah.
My dick still hadn't appeared.
Oh, that's that long.
Yeah, it was still gone.
That's a long time without a dick.
At any point did you worry it would never come back?
I worried from the moment it was
the moment it happened.
until
to the moment it came back.
Yeah. And as soon as it half came back, I masturbated because I had to check.
You might never be able to do it again.
If it was actually.
Thank God for that.
It's the worst wank of my life as well. It wasn't present. It was just I barely had anything. Just forcing a bit of something to come out so I could know that I was.
Do you think you were tempted to like regain your masculinity after not having a penis for 24 hours?
Well, the thing is, I mean, as much as my penis was gone, I was doing a very butch job.
Yeah,
you know? So people
true.
seeing me carry boxes, even if I was a eunuch.
He must have a massive dick. Little do they know.
You got purple glasses on.
Don't look at me.
Don't do speed is my advice.
And then almost immediately after masturbating, I crashed and I fell asleep and I woke up like a day and a half later.
Yeah, that's the way.
So yeah, I wouldn't 100% recommend speed.
I want to get more into acid though, because acid certainly branding wise, it's still being sold as like it's like, you know, Coke feels like a holiday. And acid feels like traveling. Do you know what I mean? It has that vibe around it where people are like, you can still like. It's not. You don't have to be embarrassed about it in the same way.
I really like hallucinogenics. I think people get worried about doing a bad trip. I don't think you ever really have a bad trip the first time you do it because you're too caught up on like how fun it is. From my experience, you tend to have a bad trip once you've done hallucinogenics so much that you can look past how fun it is and start being like, what if I cut myself? You know? But the first few times you do it, you're just like, whoa!
I know someone who had a very bad trip on acid for the first time.
Yeah, really?
I don't think that's much of a thing. I think lots of people have
bad. Too much, and he went to his parents' holiday or their second house.
Oh shit!
And was eventually. Was picked up and his dad got a call and he was eventually taken he was walking down the middle of the road just shouting things.
One of those ones.
Yeah, the caveat should be if you do too much, 100% you'll have a bad time.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not like bad thoughts, it's like bad
It's just mental decisions. Walking to the lake, he walked to a lake and lost all of his possessions and then ended up just walking down the middle of the road shouting.
He was reborn.
He was reborn.
Yeah.
He's fine now. He's not still there. He's still in the road, I think.
What happened?
What was the other thing? Because I can't remember.
Was it not that he was banging on people's cars?
Yeah.
Trying to get them to get
I think he was
back.
trying to get into people's
cars. And then
someone
like put him in the back of his car.
Yeah.
And he was having like a profound experience.
Yeah.
And the moment of epiphany, he had the biggest fart he's ever had in his life.
In the back of someone's car. I need to
He said it was like one of the great. He said it was one of the greatest moments of his life.
Yeah,
going
so
from
funny.
being mental shouting the
But
thing
he was
to
also
this like glorious fart.
Yeah, and it was also because obviously he'd rang his someone managed to get in contact with his dad when he got to the hospital when things were still going badly. So obviously his dad comes down to that house in a mad panic. It's quite a long journey, and by the time he gets there, he's kind of loosened up a bit. He's chilled out, and the dad walks in and he just sees him in absolute hysterics, just laughing while like nurses are putting shit in his arm. He just so that's that.
Yeah, it's having too much definitely takes you to another place. I had a really bad one with mushrooms where it was like the first time I'd done it, and it was in the warehouse, and I had this mate, Robin, who'd done loads of them, and he was like, do you want to do mushrooms together? And I said, great. And he got out this bag of mushrooms, and I was like, awesome, let's
Another
split
sandwich
that.
bag.
And then he just went, this is your bag. And then he got out another one and went, this is my bag. And I just trusted him and polished off the whole bag.
Oh God.
Yeah. And I like started getting really, really, really high. And I was like, okay, I need to go off into my room to like recalibrate.
Yeah.
But the room I was staying in, the guy who was there before was this like really scary, mad Polish guy who had bought like a job lot of like old records off the internet and then used the covers of the records and just stapled them to the wall. Every inch of the wall and the ceiling was just vinyl record covers. Every inch of everything that you could see.
That's a terrible room to go.
Yeah, and
what a ridiculous decision. Did you know it was in there before? Or?
No, I knew that's what the walls looked like, but that was my space. That was the place where I could be alone.
Yeah,
so I went in there and just descended into absolute fucking madness. I was dribbling and crying.
I thought I was music or something.
I thought I was dying and I was laughing about it. I lost my mind, and then I developed a real fear of Rod Stewart from that because there was one of the vinyl covers was Rod Stewart, and I'm trying to describe it. It's like he's laying on his back, and the camera's like here, and it's shooting up like past his crotch, up his like white billowing shirt to his just sort of monolithic head.
I don't think you need to be on mushrooms to be terrified by that.
Yeah, and while tripping and staring at it, it looked like his head was like on the horizon, and his shirt was the sea.
As if he was
the sun. So he was this big, Rod Stewart's face was the sun, and he was like he was an evil god, and he didn't want anything good to happen. Then he freaked me the fuck out, and then for like a year, 2 years, I would have like fear tremors every time I saw a picture of Rod Stewart. Because I just spent, I don't know how long, just really staring at him, and I felt like he was really chastising me.
I guess it's good that he's not really much in the media discourse nowadays.
It is better now.
He's coming back on TikTok though. There's a Rod Stewart sound. So
I'd stay off TikTok.
Okay, I have gotten past it, you know.
Doesn't sound like it.
Not still scared of Rod. Yeah, that was the worst one. Yeah, having too much will fuck you up every time. But the first time I did acid, a friend just had like a container of like liquid LSD and like a squeezy pipette. And he just went round at a party and just put a drop on everyone's hands here. Yeah. Just lick the drop up. Doesn't taste of anything. Yeah. And you start tripping. Yeah. It's much better than mushrooms where you've got to like eat them and they taste like disgusting.
They taste like shit.
They taste really bad, yeah.
So yeah, don't do speed, do acid.
Sorry, we've talked about drugs for like the whole thing.
No, that's fine. It's a men's mental and physical health podcast.
Is it? Is that? I didn't even know.
That's kind of the main thing.
Nor do the listeners really.
So yeah, that counts as self-care. So as long as it's on brand, that's absolutely fine. That's kind of why you're here, actually, Andy.
Oh, you're welcome.
Discuss those sort of things.
I'm here to help.
But also you're. I mean, no one finds it as interesting as I do. But you're from Sussex. Where are you from?
I'm from West Sussex.
West Sussex.
Whereabouts?
Born and raised in Crawley.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Until I was about 5 or 6. Then we moved to a village just outside Crawley called Copthorne.
Yeah, I know Copthorne.
You know Copthorne?
Yeah.
So I'm a Copthorne boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then went secondary school in East Grinstead.
Yeah. So do you think
Imberhorn?
Do you think you can pick up at all on a Sussex accent?
I don't think there is one. Most of the people I socialised with and was close to, I think, were trying to pretend that they were like London gangsters.
Sure.
Yep.
So from what era? Like 20s?
Like 1860s. No, but do you know? I mean, like that faux Cockney, just sort of like, "Oh, and how you doing?" You know, like just.
Because my belief is that there's a very subtle thing. But you're starting to notice it more and more because I have quite a Sussexy side of my family, and it's like lazy Cockney, The closer to the centre of London you get, it gets sharper and tighter around the syllables. But the closer to like Brighton, it's like really like it just sort of drags a bit. Like that's why they say Brighton and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's what I've spotted as well.
I mean,
dropping T's is a consistent thing. My cousins, they're from Burgess Hill, and they say instead of saying can't, they say can't.
Can't.
Yeah.
Can't.
Oh, I can't do that. Can't. I can't do that.
Can't.
Can't. Can't.
I think Brian Franganathan has a strong Sussex accent.
Yeah, he's from Crawley as well.
You can pick it up.
I can hear it.
Yeah, you can pick it up. Prick. I don't know however he says prick.
Yeah.
It's just
it
reminds me of home.
I had some mates who got taught maths by him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he taught
you were, or you know?
No, some of my mates were. Well, he taught at school in Crawley, and I went to school in East Grinstead because the village I lived in was like equidistant between the two towns.
Yeah. So you're caught in this duel.
Caught in the middle. Yeah.
How was that?
I'm very much mixed race. But yeah. So
what did you enjoy Crawley?
No, I didn't. I was a very weird kid, and I think I just didn't vibe with
Crawley's not like
many
the
of the
most
people.
alt place, is it?
Yeah, it wasn't very. The people were lovely, but no one really agreed with me on like what's interesting and what's fun.
Because
like
what was sandwich bags of speed?
They just want to go to the park. We're 8 years old, Andy.
Yeah, but I was also like a child who was obsessed with stand-up comedy, and no one really got that.
Yeah,
I would just watch it on my own all the time. And like being weirdly like ill-advisedly open about wanting to be a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, you don't want to be open about
while at school. And like 14 and no one really likes me or thinks I'm funny. So I would literally be like, in class they'd be like, what do you want to be when you're older? And I'd be like, a stand-up comedian. I remember at one point a boy went, but you're not funny. Which I think was actually quite beneficial.
I think that's almost an inevitability if you're saying that.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But then by the time I started doing stand-up, audiences would not like me, and I'd be like, "You're gonna have to up your game, mate."
I think that bloke who 14 years ago was right.
No, but I would be like, "You can't hurt." I have spent my entire school career being like, "Yes, I fucking am funny." So it was great. I got through years and years of not being very good at stand-up because I was just too belligerent to stop.
Yeah, you won the Chorley Student Comedy Award, though, didn't you?
I did, yeah. That took me 4 tries. The first 3 tries, I bombed out in the first round every time. At like 18, 19, and 20. And then I had a year off of... I did a master's at Brunel because it was right near the warehouse.
Yeah, of course.
And I was like, I want to learn some more. I was so high the entire time. Yeah. And I would write all of my short story. I made it into like a creative reason. I was like, I'm going to write my whole dissertation as while stoned as like a creative experiment.
Yeah.
And my lecturer was like, yeah, that's great.
Really?
Wait, did you suggest it to the lecturer?
Yeah. I was very open about what I was doing.
What was the dissertation about?
No, I had to write like
a warehouse.
I had to either write like half a novel or...
The terror of Rod Stewart.
I think I might have written one about Rod Stewart, actually. But yes.
Was it a creative writing thing?
Yeah, it was, I did a master's in creative writing. I had to write like a 10,000 word short story compilation or something.
Yeah.
While I was doing that, I genuinely, people don't believe this, but a big part of the reason I wanted to go back into education was to have another punt at the Chorley Student Comedy Award.
Hey, we've all thought it, don't worry. Yeah. Shame, man. I've considered doing a master's to have another crack at it.
Yeah.
Because when you see the standard and you're like, if you're just against freshers and because if you go back in after like years on the circuit, you're still eligible, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I started doing stand up when I was like 17, and by the time I was like doing this, I must have been like 22.
Yeah.
And I'd worked it out. I had a really good 5 minutes, and then I managed to win that. And I thought that would like propel me into like loads of successes, but it was like a year after that until I got an agent, and I'm still not that successful. But I do have that trophy in my office.
Yeah.
Hey, that's true. Big. Actually, I've made it here.
Everything's about to change now.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah. Be ready.
I'm not. I refuse to be.
As we like to discuss in this show, is my lack of ability on Twitter.
Oh yeah, here we go.
So I thought of a tweet and I tweeted it. So
that's generally the process that happens. Just to fill you in, Andy, we had Who was on? Jacob Hortley was on, and we were discussing our show's Twitter, and we read out one of his tweets, and it's honestly ridiculous. It's like he loses any comedy.
Yeah, but the problem is,
that
it's
he
not
has.
like I'm trying to be bad. It's not like it's a.
I have a similar thing though. If I'm not sure that I can translate my thoughts to a way that's acceptable to the internet, do you know what I mean? Like everything I tweet, I'm like, this is gold, and then everyone's
so
like, this is.
I think this
awful.
is a good tweet. This is not me like.
But do you think it is? But do you
bad
think the St. Peter's one?
When I wrote it, I did. Obviously, when we no, I wasn't doing that. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
What was the St. Peter's one?
Yeah, that's definitely worth reading.
Do you know football?
The sport, yeah.
Do you know? Like, do you know? Okay. Well, the context is. Dusan Vlahovic was going to sign for Arsenal.
Oh yeah. He went to Juventus,
and this was in between the two most. This was in between the
anything.
two most viral videos we've had on Twitter. In between them,
so in a sense,
so really riding that high.
Literally the most eyes I've ever had in my profile.
Yeah,
and in a sense, I'm kind of. I'm lumped in with Horatio in this because either side of this tweet is videos of me.
Yeah.
So he has a responsibility to not be a maniac.
Disrespecting you as well.
With this tweet, it's what he's doing.
It had 7 likes until we did a podcast discussing it, and then it went to 16 and got 1 retweet, and someone commented it was very offbeat, which is how I described it.
That's it.
St. Peter, you've lived a complicated life. And
wait, so is that a semicolon?
Yeah.
Speaking.
So you can't even deliver it.
St.
Peter's
Peter.
voice.
I'll do the voice.
No, because it's...
Come on.
That's,
true.
No.
I'll make it better.
It's St. Peter, you've lived a complicated life. Any regrets? Me. None. St. Peter, not even alienating yourself from your children after the divorce? Me. That's life. St. Peter, what about the 10 hours of hashtag Dusan Vlahovic highlights you watched in January 2022? Me. Oh, God, why? Hashtag Arsenal.
It's the last line for me that gets... It's the real kicker.
You hashtagged
Oh, God,
it as well.
why?
See if you could get on that football Twitter.
So, I've never been that funny on Twitter. And that one didn't work.
Yeah.
And this one has got... I posted this at the beginning of the episode. Shouldn't every pan be non-stick?
That's a good point.
That's a good point. That's a good tweet.
That's a good tweet.
Well done.
No, getting there.
Well done, yeah.
Yes, we should call them the Johnson rays. And that brings me up to my gripe in general.
But I feel like non-stick pan technology is only not a recent occurrence, but like it occurred after most pans were created. So
do you think that's what it is?
Yeah, I don't know. They
be.
didn't have non-stick technology when the first pan was created. So
I'm not.
pan
we don't have the first pan created.
What?
Could we not? If it was to become the norm for non-stick pans, wouldn't you refer to the other pans as stick pans?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's
then
the society
no one would
we
buy
hope
a
to
stick
see.
pan, would they?
Because that's the society we want to see, but it doesn't exist.
How new is non-stick? It's been around as long as I've been.
But I think the fair question is, they're cheap. They're cheaper. Stick pans.
Stick pans are.
Stick pans are cheaper.
But there's no.
It's just like a poorer quality pan.
Yeah, I guess.
And you pay less for it. I think it's still a good point. I think the non-stick technology should be there, that you can still get non-stick pans.
Yeah, because it feels strange, because whenever I've lived, I've always had non-stick and stick pans just in an assortment of different things, and often recipes will say use a non-stick pan, but it sort of implies that there is an opportunity. Is it ever advantageous to use a stick pan?
No.
Is there any type of cooking where it's like, well, you want a sticky pan for this shit?
No.
Maybe if you want to sprinkle some burnt rice on top of the cooked rice.
Yeah.
That would be
that
useful.
would work. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, good.
Are we done?
That was a good, healthy discussion.
My dad's ex-girlfriend shouted at me because I used a metal spatula in a non-stick pan.
Don't want to scrape off the. Thing. I've been shouting.
That's one of my diary entries.
You didn't even need to finish that sentence for me to find it funny. If you start saying my dad's ex-girlfriend shouted at me, I'm like, just stop speaking. That's great.
It's perfect. Yeah,
I love that. Yeah.
It really took me aback. She was a Christian, so you wouldn't expect it from her.
You wouldn't think so, no.
Yeah,
I thought it was all about forgiveness.
That's what it's all about, genuinely. Yeah, but then
she never forgive me for the use of the metal.
But then you have to forgive her
for shouting at me.
Yeah,
but I'm not a Christian.
But he's not a Christian.
So I guess not. But I guess part of being a Christian is allowing mistakes. That could be one of her mistakes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If she's Catholic, she could just apologise for it the next day and do what she likes. You know.
Maybe she confessed about it, and I just wouldn't know.
Yeah, but you're allowed to forgive. The forgiveness
forgive and make amends.
The forgiveness thing is a cycle, because it's like, well, you're Christian and you're not forgiving.
Well, yeah, no.
I'll ask for forgiveness for not forgiving that person.
Well, yeah, because I guess she might have forgiven me for the action, but but then she didn't kind of make amends for the action she did to me, which is shouting.
How long ago was this?
At the end.
We're talking 10 years ago.
10 years ago, and it's still raw.
It's still raw.
Yeah,
it's still there. Well, that's the first thing I think.
So readily.
I hear the phrase non-stick pan. I just like, what the fuck are you doing in there?
so traumatic for
It's
you.
traumatic,
actually.
yeah, metal spatula. Well, actually, I also think of it because it was a real teaching moment. Because I have never used a metal spatula on a non-stick pan.
Me
since.
too. Those stick. Sometimes it does take someone to shout at you just to have those things stick in.
So maybe I've got nothing to forgive her for.
Ever since I got rich, I just do what I like.
Do what the fuck you want?
And then if it goes to shit, I just throw it away.
On purpose almost. What non-stick metal?
I actually also inherited
fucking line.
a full set of crucettes.
Really?
Yeah.
What's a crusette? For
Like those orange
the
pans and Le Crucettes.
Orange pans.
Le Cruzier, whatever you want to call it.
I didn't know they could be turned into crucettes as like the.
I don't know what crucettes means. I've just read.
I've got them.
I've just read the bottom of it and gone. That says crucettes.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah,
I got a
I
bunch
still
of
don't
those.
know what they are.
They're like
posh
the
pans.
French fanciest. You've seen the big orange. Yeah, they're really
Big
really
orange.
top
I
of
haven't seen the
range.
big orange
Top-
pans.
Have you not? You've seen them. Next time you're out,
Okay,
you're going to see a shop and be like, those.
Yeah,
I've walked
that's
past that
what
all the
Andy was
time.
talking
Yeah,
about,
big
yeah.
black circular lid thing. Yeah, very
Big black, like you're describing a pan though.
No,
No.
The black knob is the handle on top of the orange lid. If you're having one of those,
They've got lids as well.
Yeah,
But they're like
you
sauce
both seem
of the
very
range.
reluctant to explain
Top
it to me.
of the
So I
range.
think
Well, part
I don't know what you want. They're
part
frying
of us-
pans
I think
of
we're both-
varying
we're-
sizes. You can put them in each
yeah,
other
okay, no, it's adding up. It's adding up.
we're just tired of having to do this.
for things such as beans.
You and Andy. Andy's tired of explaining things. To
This
me.
this is the podcast now. Now you're the guest.
I am
all right?
okay. I feel like it.
But yeah, did you recently went viral on Twitter as your
Yeah.
You said in football that was the first time.
I've had Twitter for 12 years, and I've almost never done a successful tweet.
Do you tweet regularly?
I tweet quite often, but I find that the more people unfollow me if I tweet.
Yeah,
But
so
if
you
I-
have to pretend that you don't exist for
Yeah.
a bit because they can't then unfollow.
But
you.
if I don't tweet, I will just like gradually amass followers from like doing gigs,
Yeah,
or someone
yeah.
else will say something about me, and
but
then
if
people
you
will follow me.
actually share your thoughts,
But if
they
I
think,
say
that was a
something-
mistake.
So
Yeah.
second hand, you sound all right, but it's with the
yeah.
lighter day
out of the
first
horse's
hand.
mouth.
yeah.
Not funny at all. Yeah.
This guy sounds amazing. Oh god.
Oh my
Yeah.
what?
So I'm bad at the internet. I don't use Instagram very much. I'm not good at. I had to get my girlfriend to tell me how the stories worked the other day. I'm not good at it.
The
But
stories.
I did a tweet. All right, I'm 50 years old. I'm
stories of the
sorry.
internet.
The tales.
What does it all mean?
Yeah, that's 100% my feeling. So, but yeah, I did a tweet at like 1 a.m. and then I woke up and it was rolling.
What
it
was
was
the tweet?
great. It was just a joke about like waving goodbye to my girlfriend on a train platform, and then
Yeah.
45 minutes later, like she's still keeping pace. Like she's like running along the side.
You showed me that, mate.
You might have done it. It was very popular.
Yeah,
It got like 9 million impressions.
Wait,
or
how long?
something
When was
Million.
this?
A few weeks ago.
How many followers did you get off the back?
Yeah,
of
I
it?
saw
Do you
you. I
know?
saw that.
My follower count more than doubled. I had like 1,500, and now I've got like 3,000 and a
But I
bit.
remember
Yeah.
for a period, I think you tweeted something very funny about how you had a blue tick, didn't you? Because you did something for BBC.
Yeah.
And then you
It-
also had 700 followers. And you tweeted, I might be the least followed blue tick.
yeah.
Which
I was
really
trying
made me laugh.
I was trying to verify that, but also because of my lack of followers, that didn't get any traction at all.
You can't find out the information.
But it was like apparently
one's listening.
they've made it more difficult to get verified apparently. But back in the day, my agent just said to me like, "You've just done this thing for Radio 1. Do you want a blue tick?" And I was like, "All right, yeah."
They just hand it out if you do
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
wrong.
and she was like, "We've just found the guy to email for blue ticks, so we're getting everyone blue ticks." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, sick. I'll jump on that bandwagon."
Yeah.
And I had like 700 followers in the blue tick. But also, like, I'm a bit anxious about the internet and like engage in stuff. I don't really comment on anyone's things, and I realized with a blue tick, like, people get an extra strong notification if you like something of theirs.
definitely.
So if anything, it forced me into my shell further because
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to be
The
like,
stakes are too
oh,
high.
I've got a text.
Big
Oh no,
orange hat.
it's that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got a blue tick. There was a long period of time where I just had it in the bio saying the blue tick's a mistake.
Like an admin error by Twitter.
Yeah, but the most fun thing about a blue tick is you can filter. This is what was useful when I got that viral tweet. Is you can filter it and only see notifications from other people with blue ticks.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so you can just like
Yeah, I presume that.
Yeah,
Just-
yeah.
just,
You fuck the
just
pigs.
get
Yeah,
rid of all of
exactly.
those all of those
the
people.
losers. You only want
Yeah.
to talk to the real
See
people.
who the actual top players are. That like
People
your
have got
shit.
something to say.
Yeah. But I've never had to use that function until I had a
Yeah.
popular tweet.
I bet you felt pretty smart
Follow
putting
Andy
it
on
on.
Twitter. please, or just use this as opportunity.
Yeah.
There's no better advert for Andy's Twitter account than the last 5 minutes.
Sure.
What's your Twitter?
It's Andy Field, because Andy Field was taken by a guy named Andrew Field, which seems unreasonable.
Well, maybe Andrew Field was taken.
Maybe it was. There's another Andy Field.
Was,
I think, yeah.
Yeah. There's another Andy Field who's much more popular than I am, who writes statistics textbooks.
Really?
Yeah.
Does he have a blue tick?
Yeah, and he's so popular. I don't know if he has a blue tick, actually, but he writes statistics.
He's popular, he's just not...
What do you mean? Yeah. He writes statistics textbooks?
I don't know anything about statistics or really the textbook
in maths.
Games.
Yeah, but then how do you get a blue tick on Twitter from...
Well, I don't think he
does.
I don't know if he has a blue tick.
But he does more engaging tweets.
He's much more popular than I am. And whenever I do anything that goes popular, people are like, is this a stats book guy? I'm like, no. And there's another more popular one.
Professional comedian.
There's another more popular one who's like a voice actor in America. And there's also a guy who does close-up hand magic.
So
there was a long
the spread.
Yeah, there was a long period of time. If you searched Andy Field on YouTube, it would be like 5 pages of just like a black table with a man doing card tricks with his hands, and then like one video of me dying at a gong show.
So how are you ranking with those 4?
I would say...
Have you recently overtaken the Magic guy?
I think I'm slightly more popular than the Magic guy. I've not seen him be so active recently.
Yeah.
I'm definitely at least 3rd most popular Andy Field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you putting yourself under the stats guy?
Stats guy's number 1.
Definitely number 1.
American voice actor is number 2.
Right.
Like if you search Andy Field on Twitter, it's everyone just talking about stats textbooks. And people going like, can anyone recommend a stats textbook? And they're like, Andy Field's stats textbook is amazing.
Yeah.
And the voice actor Andy Field got in hot water recently because he tweeted asking about like cryptocurrency or NFTs, and then everyone was trying to cancel him for it. Because they were like, that's bad. I don't even know why.
They tried to cancel
it. But I was going...
what you were saying.
I was going through...
It completely depends what you were saying.
But I was going through liking all the tweets that were just like, Andy Field's a piece of shit. I was like, I keep like resisting the urge to retweet people who are like, fuck Andy Field, man. Yeah. Because it's not about me. I hope it's not anyway.
Do you have any gripes?
Yes.
Do you have a gripe?
No.
Do you have a gripe?
No, I thought I did. No, I didn't.
Mine was the non-stick pan.
Yours is non-stick pan?
I got out of...
I tried to write...
out of gripe duty.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I tried to write a joke once that was something about nonce-tick. Because it sounds like nonce-tick.
Like non-stick pans?
Nonce-tick pans.
Oh, yeah.
So like pans for verified paedophiles.
Yeah. Yeah, nonce-tick.
Yeah, nonce-tick pans.
How did it go?
Well, not well. Very not well.
Great. Well,
my gripe could be Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
What's your gripe about?
What's wrong with him?
I thought you loved Dwayne.
He's terrible.
He's a good guy.
You were a big rock guy. I thought you liked it. What?
You love big rocks.
I don't like big rocks.
I like The Rock.
No.
When did
Actually,
change?
can I quickly say? Did I say the fact? I just like you guys don't even have to reply to this.
Okay.
But it's just a fun fact that all the curling stones in the world are made at this one specific.
I need to look away from him.
Yeah, that's.
I just realised I didn't have to engage, so I took a break.
I'll just address the.
I'm just having a break. Just look at the camera.
You guys take a break. Yeah, put your mic down. All right, shall I put you out of it? All the curling stones are made. You don't have to rustle. Now you're just doing this on purpose. All the curling stones in the world are made on this one particular Scottish island that is uninhabited itself.
Is it called curling?
No, it's not called curling.
How can you make them if you're not there?
You don't have to live there to make them.
But you have to work there.
It's commute.
Yeah, but
inhabited means sleep. You sleep there.
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
No one sleeps there, Andy.
What? So you could go to an uninhabited island and there'd be loads of people, and they'd be like, "Well, it's the middle of the day, We're here during the day."
I think you could. Yeah,
no one lives there. There'll be some more colloquial changes, but I think officially it probably would be uninhabited.
It's like Mount Everest is uninhabited, but you'd be able to find people there.
Yeah, but it's not got like a factory for curling stones.
But it's not a factory. It's where they then move the stones to the factory.
Right.
I thought I said you didn't have to reply to this.
No, I like this. So are they cutting the stone?
Yeah, it's like...
Is it a good stone?
It's a great stone, and they kind of naturally break in order for them to easily...
the shape of curling.
And astonishingly, the island itself looks like a curling stone. And we'll get a picture up of it there, and it's worth showing it. It's a great fact.
Like a handle?
Well, no, it doesn't have a handle, but it looks like the rough shape.
Undercut.
You always fucking do this. No, the island itself looks like a curling stone. And that's it. My thing about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is thus, yeah. Get yourself back in. Get yourself back in the game, Andy. Let's take it for a spin.
I'm here.
Right. He is... No, I'm fed up of him now. There was a point that I loved him because he was just kind of like... Yeah, I know. He was joyous and all this. The thing...
And his numbers are unreal. Box office.
Yeah, sure.
10,
But the thing...
15, 20.
The thing that tipped me over the edge with him is the series The Young Rock, which is him going back through his life. It's a story about how he grows up.
Mm-hmm.
He himself...
a very inspirational man.
I've not seen this.
He's not an inspirational
I've not heard of the
man.
Young Rock.
Okay. He's not an inspirational man. He's obsessed with the fact that he's like, he used to be a shoplifter, and he like brings that up a lot. And it seems like he's crowbarring in a bit of poverty porn in some way. Yeah. Even though his dad was also a pretty famous fucking wrestler as well.
Really?
Yeah.
And it was
he's like a legacy wrestler.
I made it from nothing. It's like, your dad was a really big wrestler as well.
The Boulder.
We'll put canned laughter over that.
He loved it. That's his thing.
That's what I'm for. Yeah. More of this. Can we start the record over again and just have better vibes?
We
like
could do
that?
rock puns.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Well, I try to give you some rock content.
Yeah.
About curling stones.
Yeah, you weren't interested in that sort of rock.
No, and in it.
It was bolder of you.
You've got to finish it off at least.
No,
It was bolder of you. It was bolder of you to
bring it up.
Yeah, that would have been nicer for me.
All right.
Do you want to go for take two?
Your characters actually, which recently.
Can I finish my fucking rock thing? Sorry, Jesus Christ!
Still talking,
the guest is speaking. No, and in it, it's a non-chronological timeline where we flip between him being like 15 years old at college, and then the final timeline is that he's getting interviewed to be the president of the United States. And if you watch it, and he produced it, he pushed this show forward.
Yeah.
And it's all just about how great he is. And part of it is because he's probably going to run for president at some point. So it's just the start of this campaign. I just urge you, if you're a rock fan, which I don't think anyone should be.
Sure. I
think he's actually a bad, horrible human being.
Okay. No, that's fair enough. What are your thoughts?
Up his own arse.
I'm just finding it really hard to get back in the zone after I had that mental break.
I gave you some time off, and
then
now
I've come in here and just like needlessly
probably
criticising a great man.
But why is he so great?
Have you ever seen The People's Elbow?
Famous.
He runs to one side of the ring.
It's his wrestling thing.
And back across.
Yeah.
And then gets to the middle again. Drops the elbow.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's necessarily what constitutes a great man.
He's a Mandela of wrestling.
Have you smelled what he's cooking? Because it's delicious.
What?
That's his thing.
Is that his thing?
His tag?
We're smelling what he's cooking.
And then he like
is this still a wrestling
head up
thing?
his arse.
Yeah.
Because I haven't actually seen much of him in the wrestling world.
Yeah.
Are you a wrestler?
Well, I'm a bit older than you, and he was wrestling when I was like really impressionable and still thought it was real. It was very good.
Yeah.
Was he good at what he did?
Oh, he was the most electrifying man in sports entertainment.
Well, I'm just saying, since then, I think he's taken a turn for the worse.
Oh, 100%. He's gotten much worse since he stopped being a wrestler.
And the what do you call it? The something in the crown. The diamond in the crown, whatever, is The Young Rock. And I just encourage you to watch it.
Yeah, I'd never heard of this. I can't believe it passed me by.
His skin is kind of interesting, though, because he's so big and it's stretched so smoothly across such a big frame. So I like that about him.
Why would you think it would be otherwise? Like it would bunch up on his...
Skin is relative to size.
No, I guess so, but he's older and he's ginormous, and normally it's just the skin doesn't stretch so nice.
What's that story you've heard?
I'm taller than him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
6'4".
You know what? I've never seen you not sitting down. Because you were sitting down when I came in.
Should we do this?
Yeah. I'm not going to stand up to make it. Well, now I can't. There's an honest perspective here because you look very tall from here. 6'4".
You're sitting down. 6'4" makes sense.
Yeah, no, you are tall. Yeah.
How tall is The Rock?
How tall are you?
I'm 6'2".
Rock's about 6'2".
Okay. So maybe I'm taller. Who knows? It's gonna be.
Do you remember that story? You told me a story about The Rock.
I was a runner on a film set, and I spoke to the producer who'd worked on a Rock film, and apparently she was kind of furious about how about $3,000 a day was being spent on Dwayne The Rock Johnson's personal barber, who made sure a hair never grew on his head. Just never.
Wow.
It was just there, like whack-a-mole. As soon as he saw it, he was just. Bzz.
It is.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah. It is difficult to stop your hair from growing, but also you could just shave it in the morning once a day and you'd be fine.
No, but you can't.
No, but it's under the lights of production.
Like, you start to get a 5 o'clock shadow on your nose. True. 3,000's a lot though.
It is a lot of money.
It seems unnecessary. There's not much styling going on. It's not like the art of hairdressing.
Should we move on to Patreon?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, if you guys join this conversation, then pay for it.
Yeah, I like that. I like
that. Please pay for it. Sorry, I lost all the authority. I just established by saying please pay for it.
Yeah, just stop talking.
Just fucking pay for it.
Yeah.
That's Andy saying
Thanks very much. Is there anywhere people can find you or anything you have to plug?
I'm doing an Edinburgh show this year that I'm working on. That's going to be really good. Great. And you should come and buy tickets to that. And just follow me on social media and stuff, and just don't unfollow me when I do something bad.
Great. Well, thanks so much for coming on,
Thank you, Andy.
You're welcome.
Keep it swanky, keep it swife.